With all the rain this spring, every acorn that fell in my yard germinated. My lawn is full of 4 or 5 inch shoots. I kept my flower beds cleaned out until I left for town for about a week. Now I can hardly find my bedding plants. Am I destined to live in an urban forest? Here's a related question. I have huge trees and hundreds of saplings in my yard. For the last 2 years, my leaves were mulched instead of raked. What caused all the tree saplings to grow, and how do I get rid of them? So the first question is from Miss Jane, and the second question, Miss Marilyn here in Shelby County. It kind of related. So
Yeah.
urban forest, is she destined to live in an urban area?
Well, if she let them all grow, yes, there would be, quite a lot of trees growing in the same place. But like the trees and the saplings that are coming up the lawn, just spray a broadleaf weed killer on that, and that should take care of those. In the beds, well, you know what? We've just had a really good acorn year this last year. So I think that's why we're seeing more acorns coming up in beds, especially if they got covered up a little bit, just if they got covered up just a little bit through the fall and over winter, and that's prime time for them to all start germinating and coming up at the same time. Digging them up, putting some kind of herbicide on them is your best bet, but you just have to watch what kind of plants you're around.
Okay, Andy, anything to add to that?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics. Actually, believe it or not, we were talking about this at the dinner table with my in-laws.
How about
they had
that?
exactly the same thing. And they have fescue, and they were concerned about even a broadleaf thing in the hot weather, and fescue were a bad combination. And so the viewers won't like this solution, but my in-laws' solution is to spend 15 minutes when they get home, each of them, and pulling up the seedlings.
Right.
My personal solution in my woodland garden, out in the dead of winter after the acorns drop, typically it's a good thing to do on a cold day, January, February, and that sort of stuff, to rake. The acorns, your plants are dormant, you rake them onto a hard surface, and then you can take a broom and dustpan and actually get rid of them. Now I do set them aside for the wild animals and that sort of stuff, but even when they don't sprout and become nuisance seedlings, they're like, particularly on sidewalks and like that, they're like little ball bearings, and you can slip, and they're a safety hazard. But raking and sweeping them up, to me, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That's right. Okay, I can get with that. And it's something else I do, because I actually have, some of these acorns that will sprout in my flower beds. We've had enough rain, they're easy to pull up. Okay, that's one thing. And then in my yard, I actually mow them down, because, it depletes the carbohydrates, of course, in that acorn over time. So eventually, peters out, for the most part. So yeah, I either pull them up or I just, I mow them in my lawn.
But if you snap them up, there's enough energy left in the seedling, unless you do resort to herbicide or, you keep chopping, you're gradually reducing the energy store over time.
Right.